sets on a Saturday afternoon in England in the 1970s and 80s. Men like Jim Brake, Sultan Boschick, Steve Gray, and the great Johnny Saint.
And actually, I pose this to Walker. The most impressive thing about Zack Sabre Jr., not only is he in evolution of those wrestlers, those great World of Sports style wrestlers, but he's also a man that has taken influences from around the globe, most specifically the Yabe style, the Mexican submission wrestling style, that he's imported and implemented into his game.
What I love about Zack Sabre Jr. is that he is not one of these athletes that looks at technical wrestling like an analytical mindset. He looks at technical wrestling. He looks at technical wrestling like jazz artistry. It's free flow. I'd love to hear you comment on that, having stepped in the ring with Zack Sabre Jr. 1 year ago with the IWGP Heavyweight title on the line.
Yeah, jazz, not my favourite type of music. Certainly when you apply it to professional wrestling as well. I tried to compete when it came to technique with Zack Sabre Jr. Very early on, I realised I'd have to change my game plan. I tried to use strikes, kicks, lariats to the best of my ability, but ultimately it was Sabre that defeated me with a pinfall. And so ultimately, you can certainly understand why he still lives by that moniker of the greatest technical wrestler in the world. Not many other people that can be put in that category, even if they pay to have an award named after them.
Nigel, to that point, Zack Sabre Jr., early on in his career, he had a reputation for being susceptible to strikes. And so that is something that he worked on, he trained on, and he rounded his game out. And since doing so, especially doing so in the dojos in Japan, has become a more complete, a more well-rounded wrestler, and a more dangerous wrestler.
I'll tell you, I hit him with a couple of lariats, and normally you feel a body move, but sometimes I hit him so hard, it was like he was hitting me.
And Walker, fans of New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm obviously very familiar with Kenny Omega. During his run in Japan, if there was a title in New Japan Pro Wrestling, there's a good chance that Kenny Omega held it at one point.
Yeah, no doubt about that. When we talk about all those years ago, Excalibur, I mean, professional wrestling is a sport that moves forward and not backward. The first time these two ever tangled inside a pro wrestling ring on the British independent scene back in 2013, they were very, very different men back then, as well as the last time they faced off inside the ring, 2018 G1 Climax. And Zack Sabre Jr. admittedly has never won either of those matches.
Well, tonight, though, he could break that duck, certainly. Sabre, very capable, a proficient, dazzling professional wrestler. Watch the speed. Ooh, right into the boot there, Omega. A superlative, high-end, top-class performer still.
Omega rolling off the back, and now takes down Zack Sabre Jr. Sabre retreats to the outside, though not exactly out of the range of Kenny Omega. Omega throws himself over the top and finds Sabre on the floor.
Exciting offense that has made Kenny Omega a huge fan favorite for fans around the world. There was a young kid at the hotel this morning who told me he was very excited to see the cleanup. I assume he was talking about Omega. He didn't just need new towels. It's my stuff. That's what keeps me here. But right now, this is an incredible match between the best belt machine and the greatest technical wrestler, some would say, to ever live.
There's a feeling in this arena here tonight at Sam's Center in San Jose that you just cannot emulate any other way. Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenny Omega, a true dream clash unfolding before our eyes.
Big fight feel. Ooh, the joint manipulation. And Zack Sabre Jr. has come to be known for. Highly effective.
As you mentioned, Walker, this match.
Right into that.
This meeting between these two men head-to-head taking place for the first time in nearly a decade. The first time inside an AEW ring, referee Bryce Remsburg understandably being very liberal with the 10 count on the floor.
Zack taking a couple of knees there after the impact, showing just how high Omega hits.
Sabre having his head bounced off the Spanish announce desk.
Oh, good Lord. There's Zack Sabre Jr. not exactly well acquainted to the outside of a pro wrestling ring. And let's Kenny Omega introduce him.
You see the
This is, everything is a touch of battle where the tone of the battle that will benefit Kenny Omega is to dirty things up a little bit, Walker.
And Kenny Omega's been doing a lot of talking about potential AEW title challenges. Zack Sabre Jr. said himself that Kenny Omega maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's the ring of shame.
watching that signage placed atop the Spanish announce desk, and underneath the bottom rope to reset the referee's count, as he's got Zack Sabre Jr. all line. Foot stops nowhere for Sabre to go.
Manic, crazy look in the eyes of Omega there. This is his wheelhouse. It's where he loves to be. Pinpoint precision, driving, not just his body weight, but the top of the announce table into the chest of Sabre.
And Nigel, I believe that may have clipped Zack in the face as well, and when it slid off, and now Kenny Omega, we are in very dangerous, we are in tight quarters here. Uh-oh.
Watch out, watch out, watch out!
Oh, no.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
There he goes, looking.
Please don't.
No, you can't. Zack Sabre Jr. doing a great job grounding himself.
Holding on for dear life. As he and Kenny Omega battling atop the Spanish announce desk. And,
Watch out, watch out.
Omega
Get out of there.
changes tack, right hand, right elbows. As Omega shot reverberating throughout the arena. Omega takes a look behind him.
I don't like the looks of this one bit.
Sabre. Instead, look at this magic of comedy.
I'm going to get a submission on the outside, but we'll get some damage.
That is a strong style staple. Oh, and immediately taking Paul into our announce team.
Sabre Jr. knew exactly what he was doing there, tying up Kenny Omega so that when they fell off the table, Omega would have the worst of it.
Nigel, it's tough to believe that Zack Sabre Jr. would think 5 moves ahead like that, but he most certainly is the type of athlete that would. Look at that. Polite move by Zack Sabre Jr.
Not just a student in the game, he's a professor.
He's getting a lot of opportunity to recuperate here on the inside of Zack Sabre Jr. A man with history of intercostal damage. Those abdominal muscles never heal quite easily, Nigel.
Yeah, you can have niggling injuries, certainly in a career as storied. Watch out!
Kenny Omega, the battles with diverticulitis in recent years is not exactly a state secret, but Zack Sabre Jr. instead concentrating on the arm of Kenny Omega.
Omega writhing in agony.
Walker, you mentioned the 2 previous battles between Kenny Omega and Zack Sabre Jr. Kenny coming out on top of both. The first taking place in Chipping Sodbury, England.
The difference maker there, though, Excalibur, is that Zack Sabre Jr. was not near at the level that he is today. He wasn't a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He wasn't a former G1 winner. But he stands here in San Jose against Kenny Omega. Both of those things tonight. And that's a difference maker going into this one.
Now, I talked about his evolution, his ability to not only absorb strikes, but to anticipate and counter them, Nigel. And
Yeah, he really is a complete pro wrestler. I can tell you, having been in the ring with him, it is a frightening prospect to have to try to decode the puzzle that is Zack Sabre Jr. But Kenny Omega can certainly be the man to do it. He talked about his legacy in the land of the rising sun. His matches have more stars than the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Zack, though, has been concentrating his attacks on that arm of Kenny Omega, perhaps looking to inhibit not only Omega's striking ability, but also his ability to execute moves like that Snapdragon suplex or even the one-winged angel. A hell of a kick in the corner by Zack Sabre Jr. Follows up with one of his own.
You cannot turn your back on Kenny Omega whatsoever. We're proof in the center of this ring right now.
So Omega, now from behind over the top. Sabre face first into the mat. And Kenny Omega, just a punt to the ribs. And Omega once again drives down Sabre.
Zack Sabre Jr. spoke to the media just before this match took place, said that he is not looking to be a stepping stone to Kenny Omega on his pursuits to the AEW World title. Sabre Jr.'s got to turn things around here if he wants to avoid that stepping stone moniker.
Sabre on the outside, Kenny in the center of the ring, but perhaps not for long as he builds momentum and takes to the stars. Sabre dealing with that abdominal injury.
That abdominal injury, gentlemen, that cost Zack Sabre Jr. the IWGP Heavyweight title against Konosuke Takeshita last year. And certainly very well could cost him here against Kenny Omega.
Omega having trouble with his right arm there after the stomp we saw earlier to put himself back up. So certainly we are seeing the human game of chess play out here.
Sabre struggling to his feet. Omega perched on top. Kick sends Sabre reeling across the ring. A couple knee leg is hooked, but Sabre able to escape. And Nigel, pinfall attempts like that, great if you get it, but more often than not, you're forcing your opponent to expend energy.
That's exactly right. This game sometimes can come down to who's got the longest, the biggest gas tank. And here, tying up. Ooh, neck breaker.
Neck breaker, and you see Sabre immediately clutching the, can't tell if it's a trap or the neck, either way.
Look how slow Omega is to follow up on that offense. There's no question that Omega is hurt.
Omega perhaps lining up a V-trigger for Zack Sabre Jr., though. Could be burning some daylight. Well, Sabre ready for Omega.
You never give Zack Sabre Jr. a win, but quite the way Kenny Omega did and survived.
Omega didn't intend to, but he put himself in harm's way in the jaws of the lion, and that lion is Zack Sabre Jr. Nice escape by Sabre, back elbow, catches Omega, I believe on the eye.
This really is a battle of two styles. Which of the competitors can bring the match to their style? If it's technique, it's Zack Sabre Jr.'s match to lose. But if Omega can strike, can throw, can keep moving, and most importantly, keep Zack Sabre Jr.'s hands off of his body, and Omega could leave the victor.
Uppercuts.
Strike.
And Sabre dropped the hands for a moment. Omega.
Wow. Sabre Jr. lured Omega into his world here tonight, and it could be over here.
Omega looked for that a couple of times, this time hit it.
The Snapdragon executed by Omega, but was it delivered with the force we typically see from Omega, Nigel?
Unlikely with the damage to the right arm that we saw earlier. This match is rapidly becoming a war of attrition.
But Walker, likewise, the neck injury, the apparent neck injury of Zack Sabre Jr., a developing story to keep on our head.
And that damage to the neck is going to make it very difficult to hit that Zack driver. It's the way that Sabre Jr. won the G1, won the IWGP Heavyweight title, and has to defeat Kenny Omega with tonight.
You saw there, Sabre thought about going for the middle rope and elected to avoid it. Doesn't want to get caught with a V-trigger.
Another Snapdragon as the momentum continues to build for Omega.
The body of Sabre Jr., the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, just folding up like an accordion.
Great call about Sabre not wanting to use the rope for assistance and get him up because he puts himself in harm's way for a potential V-trigger. But Omega battering the body of Sabre.
And Sabre Jr. typically despises utilizing rope breaks, gentlemen. He sees it as a sign of weakness and a technical
Leg is hooked.
Yeah, I love it. 2 count there. Sabre Jr. is not going to go to the ropes unless he has to. And the moment you see Sabre Jr. go for those ropes, you know he's in the danger zone.
Omega could be looking.
Ready for a third snap dragon, but at this point, Nigel, you have to imagine that Sabre knows it's coming. He's got a counter in line. Roll up. Omega, though, maintain control of the line.
Wow, look at that beautiful transition into the rear naked choke.
And then switches. Judigatame.
We're going to have to get up pretty early in the morning to get an armbar on Zack Sabre Jr.
See, Sabre, he's losing the grip. He was trying to hold on to maintain the S grip, now switching and holding on to his own finger to prevent Omega from getting full extension.
Ooh. Switch his body over. There it is.
Momentum through.
Got a beautiful escape.
Sabre knew exactly what he was doing there, allowed Omega to overcommit. Sabre rolled to an answer with the kick.
And the early bird catches the worm, but it's the second mouse that gets the cheese. Boom!
For as much damage as Kenny Omega can dish out, he can certainly take a hell of a lot more.
Sabre throws the kick. Omega intercepts it. And now Kenny bats away the leg. Sabre transitions. Wakatame.
Sabre going to drive with his hips, or instead now electing to change positions. And it was the right arm that was damaged earlier. Look at this. Ooh.
Sabre wrenching back on the right arm of Kenny Omega. Omega rolls into the ropes to force the break. And the toll of this match evident on both competitors.
Both men sucking air in. Omega slightly more.
Walker, a victory for Zack Sabre Jr. in this match not only would be huge on a personal level, but the ripple effect that it would have for Sabre in Japan. It could be something that skyrockets him back into contention for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, especially with the G1 coming up in Chicago July 11th, but not just Japan, we're talking about here in the West as well. Zack Sabre Jr. loves to make these international excursions quite often. Who's to know the next time we'd see him here in AEW?
There is a poise and a methodical way that Sabre is moving forward at this point. He knows he has the advantage. He knows he has his opponent hurt, but he also realizes that if he gives Omega the opportunity, former AEW World Champion will capitalize and potentially to take the match from him.
Sabre, so the contact comes around.
Just like this, Omega gave an inch. Sabre Jr. took the mile right to the back of the neck. Goes Omega on that shot there.
Omega took two to give one, but it was the one that gave him the upper hand now. Could not hoist Sabre up.
That right arm is torn to shreds, courtesy of the best technical wrestler in the world.
Now high boot delivered into the jaw. Omega, a second, that one to the arm. And swings for the fences and connects with that one.
And follows up as he should. I'm getting flashbacks. The O2 Arena last year. Now Zack Sabre Jr. with a lariat like that. My shoulder still feels it.
Omega lines up Sabre in the corner. Trigger!
Sabre's right arm is protecting him from a pinfall or submission for that matter.
And draped on the middle rope. But Omega, the momentum once again swelling in his favor, perhaps to a crescendo here. As Omega hoists up Sabre.
Oh no. Oh no. A collective gasp.
Maybe thinking Avalanche.
Watch out.
One-winged angel, but Sabre.
Sabre's got some creative counters, so he's going to need to reach deep in the
Hooks
back
are in.
here
Hooks
tonight.
are in. For the rear naked choke on the middle and top rope. You don't want to knock a guy out when you're holding onto his back that high up.
Sabre, he can't win the match from this position. Oh, Nigel putting the commentator's curse on Zack Sabre Jr. A rough landing for both men, but a rougher landing for Zack Sabre Jr.
Well, that was hard to watch.
The real monkey's paw situation for Zack Sabre Jr. there. He's got to try and do something to counter this offense against Kenny Omega.
A monkey's what?
Monkey's paw, Nigel.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, every time you make a wish, monkey's paw.
But about me, he has it, mate. Neither man able to capitalise. But it is Omega, the cleaner, the best bout machine, back to his feet, poised to strike.
Omega needing a moment to clear the cobwebs, but Sabre, after all the oxygen was driven from his lungs by the collective impact of he and Omega, now up to a kneeling position. Omega! The knee into the jaw, and Sabre appears to be wilting. Omega not done yet. Brings Sabre back upright. And
So much a knee strike, more a kick to the chest, trying to drive yet more wind out of the lungs of Zack Sabre Jr. You can feel the people coming up.
Kenny Omega has a real deep gas tank, and it is certainly running on empty. The longer this one goes, same goes for Sabre Jr. here.
Zack intercepts now, changes his grip, and that ankle lock is in tight. He is wrenching that ankle of Omega's. Omega struggles with those up kicks. Finally using both legs to push Sabre off himself. Answers leg kick Omega to his feet. Knee strike. Drops Sabre. Zack into the ropes. Between the shoulder blades goes Omega. And now Kenny. Reverse. Sabre slices the crown of his head.
There's a cover.
1, 2.
And not 100% of a cover, you can understand with the energy that's been expended with the damage to his right arm, and now, by the looks of things, even his right leg as well. Omega unable to get a deep hook of the leg, and that allowed Sabre Jr. to stay alive. But wait a second. Takes aim.
Omega lined up. No V-trigger avoided. Sabre rolls. Very nearly Zack Sabre Jr. catching Omega by surprise. Chopped a lip. Using the trunks of Sabre for downward momentum. Driving, spiking Sabre into the mat.
Wow, but look how tough Zack Sabre is. Back to his knees already. Oh, but look where he is. And he's looking for it.
Omega lined up. Trigger. Sabre, bleary-eyed, brought towards the center of the ring.
Oh,
Omega.
no. Oh,
One, Wayne Nelson. Sabre.
Sabre Jr. nearly stole one over the best battle machine. Here we go.
Sabre plants him, hooks the leg, covers. Narrow escape by Omega. Just when it seemed Kenny Omega had this match in hand, Zack Sabre Jr.
Look how close this was. High angle. And ricochet from the impact and a deep hook of the leg within a split second of scoring the victory.
And Zack Sabre Jr. has proven in the last few moments why he has earned the global reputation that he has.
Look at this. Fingers.
Omega put his hand on the throat of Sabre. Not sure if there's some words exchanged. There's certainly some open-handed strikes being exchanged now.
Two of the best fighters in the stand-up game today.
He's going to get the best of this exchange.
Omega finds the looking for the knee. On target, Omega.
Here it comes.
Oh, Kenny Omega looking for the one-wing Ainsoul.
Triangle. Got to be very careful here. Keep the shoulders off the mat, otherwise Zack Sabre Jr. could be pinned. It looks like Omega's almost going out.
It could be lights out here easily
Going
for
to get
Kenny
deep,
Omega.
but going to try to push that arm across his hips.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Nigel. The only saving grace for Omega is that his own arm is not coming across his carotid artery, but instead, Sabre. I thought he was going to convert into the cross arm breaker, but instead, now looking to sink that triangle in deeper. But Omega, look at this with one arm. One arm. Powers Sabre down. Omega. Again, the knees scoring big points for Kenny Omega in this one.
Third time. Nothing charming about it.
One-wing Ainsoul. Yes!